And we managed to get one of these to 2 damage without actually setting off. Never mind. Hello! It's... Shrekker. Joe. And... I... can't... take this... intro... seriously... anymore. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. I had, in short, updated a lot of my fleet. I changed the building method to be a little bit nicer and a little bit higher volume. I have beefed up my Forerunner. I've added refineries. I have added things like this. I made these smaller craft which are kind of sighting vehicles. And you can see stuff lying around, like the Furia, and then a new spacecraft, which I'll show you in a moment. Like I have things networked now, so I can have sensors, like the sensor systems between vessels now share information. I have this submarine, which is a hybrid type. It'll probably show up in the tutorial, my last tutorial for making submarines, because, well, it's for educational purposes, obviously. Since I realized that the rocket wasn't necessary, I just made this new extractor with a relay, and it's actually very inexpensive. The same thing for this relay. This relay barely costs anything. And that'll allow us to beam resources to space. But you have to set up like the trade routes and configure them. Also have a new refinery setup. It basically has to be this low to the ground in order to be this efficient. And it's basically, these are what I'm going to deploy to fuel my fleet. I did not have a proper solution for that. I just had the assimilator with a refinery on it, which works, and being a capital ship, having a refinery like as a backup kind of emergency kind of thing is needed, because, well, if you run out of fuel, especially my fleet, it would all my vehicles would stop running, except for like maybe the boomers, because, well, those things are RTG powered. Also, I updated a lot of my weapons. They are clipless now. I'm kind of glad about this. They have no clips. They also, which means that they're less volatile if shot. At least after the first like 10-20 seconds of battle. And they also have no necks, which means for stuff like the True Bastion over here, which used to look like this, well, they do take up a ton more space, but it's also, I could fit 12 autoloaders in there versus like the 8 that the original had. Also, I made a pair of other miniguns, but basically the difference between these two is this one will shred targets over a very short amount of time. This is like something you'd use only if you knew that your enemies just completely like stink. Also, this is bothering me. Why isn't that even? Why are you like this? I also have like, I basically made this first, which was my first cannon and my most powerful, and it basically rivals the power of my original cannon. Actually has a better fire rate, is less dangerous to itself. This one was scaling that design down and making it a bit less expensive, and it is a bit less expensive. And this is basically just taking this cannon and making a smaller version of it, and just with a single barrel, which is the same cannon you see on the Kobold here. The Primogenitor here uses 2 of the upgraded new bastions, so yeah. Both of those craft are pretty decent, if I must say so. And then it's like I have a bunch of deck guns. This isn't new. It's not going to change. That's the same keep away point defense. Made a point defense system using the simple weapons. I can probably just simplify the design a bit more. Then I have this blaster cannon, which is honestly comparable to this one in its damage output, but I think it's also exactly the same cost, which is kind of funny. Then I have this missile gantry, which basically just I can have slightly more powerful missiles in here because there's no need for one turns. So if I do something like this, yeah, like it's okay. So you remember the Freya. These things are very expensive. Basically 69k, and they go like 120 meters a second. I call this the Aegis. For one thing, it has way more storage. Almost has enough to build an entire, like this could build a couple Intrepids, I think. Like I could build a capital ship off of the storage of just one of these things, and it costs way less. Has better thrust. Basically, unlike the Freya, it's not a stable platform, and it's not like a mobile base in space that I can control. But if I use it for AI based purposes and have it like transfer resources to build things with, just one of these things can probably completely take care of everything for me. It's basically, this thing costs about the same as one of these. So basically, my fleet's getting an overhaul. A lot of the service craft are a lot cheaper and a lot more effective at what they do. And if I were to do a quick comparison, I mean just this alone. So this only has 96k versus 288k. Yeah, that's kind of a big difference. So yeah, I look forward to taking this stuff into the campaign. Okay, I don't actually have time to perform any overhauls. I am literally just... Shells are all loaded, so we need to be prepared to fight this. Also, I should have checked. Yep. F11. I want to see where we are. Yeah, I didn't spawn anyone aground. That's good. There's quite a bit of range involved. Ah, this thing. Kind of ugly. I remember when I made her. And then the Intrepid, which was actually, interestingly enough, kind of a sign of the future design that I'd get. Then the old, my older craft, the turrets appear to be, I don't know if they're all fully reloaded, are they? But, so we have a pair of spikes, but it's these things, the martyrs, the ones with the nukes. We need to watch out for those. And then they have like a Ripper, which I'm not afraid of in the slightest because it's basically just equivalent to an Intrepid. This thing though could be annoying, but we have point defense. But please tell me that my Forerunners, yes, they're opening fire. Good. Something is too damaged. Oh! We sent a nuke. I forget we have nukes. I forget that we spawn phasers. Yeah. And as you can see, this thing's going to try to come close. But hopefully... Yep. Haha, knock it away with our keep away cannons. Good. That's not going to be able to come nearly as close. And our AA lasers are going off. On the spikes, these things seriously need to be dealt with. And then we have a phase nuke, which is evidently the martyrs all self-destructed. That's not going to prevent my nuke from trying to take it down. It's not happening. Because this thing's probably going to brown out. Best thing to do here, find my phase nuke. Where are you? Yep. Doing plenty of damage. Spikes should be dealt with soon. What's this thing? I'm detonating it. Yes, abort. I'm just detonating you. You're just kind of a liability right now. You're draining the batteries of my main craft. How much damage have we sustained? So far seems pretty minimal damage. And we have managed to disable an entire craft with our lasers, but we lost one of the main cannons. How much of it have we lost? The entire thing. Pop. Okay. We did win this battle, but to a huge cost. This is why I changed the way my turrets are. Because they're so super expensive to repair. It does appear we have managed to completely defeat the entirety of the forces. Also, I want the phase nuke. Okay, here's what I must do. I currently can't actually afford to keep doing this. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to add an X there, and that's going to cancel it. And then the actual phase nuke can just... I'm going to pop it. And it appears now we just need to repair. So yeah, all of you should start repairs. And I gotta let these reload now. Anyway, I guess even though this is pretty ancient technology, I should still load one of these. We will soon have another set of eyes. I will send it somewhere like this.
Moving out. Moving out.
What's its speed at? 8 meters a second?
Moving out.
Oh, they actually have quite a few places. And this is their fortress. This fortress is a base of all the factions' power. It is here from here that this is their if we take this down, then we can end the scourge of the White Flayers. Also, this looks like a good resource base. I should have taken that. And then I can start setting up better supply chains.
Receiving. Moving now.
we're going to build our force up like this, and we're going to hope.
Receiving. Moving now.
They just have a bunch of martyrs, so I'm kind of thinking that I don't need to worry too much.
Receiving.
So this is definitely a reinforcing battle. So I want these things to be close because their accuracy is pretty bad. Like, it's pretty bad. And I want the song to be kind of over here. I want the Intrepid to be right behind her, but a little off to the side. So we have a formation kind of like this. Should be enough that all our guns are going to be trained on the target. And yeah. The Forerunners may very well lose here. So let's begin. Okay. So, well then, this looks like an extremely dangerous fortress. And I will be so happy to build my own resource node here. Just look at that. All these missiles, all these miniguns. Like, every gun has to be a minigun with them. So how are we looking? Did I guess right with the positioning? The song's going to have a little bit of trouble with traverse. Similar thing, actually, Intrepid's going to be fine, it's just going to take a while because the turrets have really crappy traversal speeds. Evidently we're firing torpedoes at it, I get that far away. And we are actually firing according to the animation, so you can't hear it because apparently there's just too many things flying off the shields. We are dealing very significant damage though, despite having no proper. Oh my god! Despite having no proper like anti-shield tech at the moment, we are tearing through this. Our torpedoes are also not really hitting their marks. Some of them, but none of them are actually underwater. I'm going to try moving towards it because I might actually be able to capture it. In which case it'll save me the extra resources in trying to replace it. AI dead. I think I'm too late. We've been it. There is nothing left. So just like that, the White Flayers fall. And I wasn't there to capture it. Oh well. Can't pause the game or anything. Yep, the corruption, delusions, and psychosis of the fanatical White Flayers has been put to an end. Worship of the flayed god can only be found in darkened corners hiding from the light. Never again will this evil cult of lunatics bring fear to and suffering the people of Hyloran. To many here you are a liberator bringing freedom of religious diversity to the masses. To others you are the tyrant that destroyed a culture. War between the player and lightning hoods. That's not how it's supposed to go, but guess what? I don't know if I care. So let's pull all. And actually no. I need to play everyone. You all need to repair. And I need to actually pay a lot of attention to my satellites here.
Moving out.
And we're going to have to get our fleet back, basically. I don't know where this fleet is coming from, which is a problem. Also, we're not going to be able to actually handle this, are we? Song lost its main turret. Again.
Receiving.
So pull all. And we're going to fight this fleet. We need to set up our resource zone. And we don't actually have time to repair our craft.
Receiving. Receiving.
So we're going to prepare our fight. So we had no choice but to enter into a war with the like the lightning hoods. So yeah. Also, some of our cannons are still firing, which is a good sign. Come on. Nope. Nuke's going to go off. 2 nukes just went off on the song. Evidently we managed to stop this in its tracks, which is good. And our keep away cannons are actually doing a good job of keeping them at range. And we managed to get one of these to 2 damage without actually setting off. Never mind. I spoke way too soon. So we have managed to actually retake. We managed to actually take this resource zone. The very first thing I wanted to build. And evidently the song repaired herself during that time, which is cool. I wanted you to
Returning to
move
formation.
here,
Moving now.
actually.
Moving now.
And then I will just put you into combat
Taking
mode,
command.
because this is good enough for what I want. And I'm going to load. Also, that's the city. I want to build a new, not a node, but an extractor. Then I want to have a relay module built. And then relay module like this, turn that on. Now we have a relay module, which is going to take a few moments, but it will eventually align. And then we have to go and configure this, because
Listening.
it's far more complicated. This takes from the extractor, and the extractor gives to, like, force feeds the relay module. So basically, this should be harvesting some resources right now. And we are, but we're actually distributing the resources between the fleet right now as it gets through this backlog, which I believe is a pretty sizable backlog.
Listening.
And this Star Eye should retreat, because I hadn't been paying attention. It won't matter. We've lost a satellite, and there isn't actually a way we can get around this. So we're going to have to build some new craft. That will be the next episode. So I will see you next time, and maybe we'll have an idea of what we're doing with this extractor. This is going to make things a lot easier for us. And fighting a war on two fronts isn't easy.